Of the college football season. I don't even want to look at my record last week, other than it was pretty much flipped from what Turner has, I believe, on our sheet that we have with another group of guys. I went 2-5, which my actual overall record was probably worse than that because I always have more games than just the sheet. However, Turner did pretty well. He had 5-2 on the sheet. So hopefully we can make some changes this week, even though some of these spreads kind of jumped out at me right away. A lot of them I went from stay away to let's jump on in because I guess it sounds better by the day. So I'll get started. I have Tennessee plus 8.5 against Bama. But I just feel like this is a lot of points. Tennessee, I think their secondary could be ripped apart by Ty Simpson, but I think 8.5 points for a massive SEC game is too much. So I'll take Tennessee plus the 8.5 down in Tuscaloosa. A scary one for Georgia Tech as they're kind of in the driver's seat in the ACC. They go to Duke. I have it at plus 1.5. I think this is kind of bounced around both sides, but I will take Georgia Tech. Um, I'll get Georgia Tech plus 1.5 against the Duke Blue Devils. Once again, down in SEC country, another game that I feel like should be closer than the spread is posted. I'll take Ole Miss plus 7.5 against Georgia. I know Georgia's home winning streak just came to an end at the hands of Bama, so they're trying to restart that. So kind of an asterisk there. I think Bama and Georgia can both win, but I think 8.5 and 7.5 points is too much. So and another one that I've again was pretty confident in, died down a little bit based on what I've seen from other sports bettors, but I'm going to take the Nebraska Cornhuskers minus 6.5 against the Gophers on Friday night. Another game that kind of scares me because this game is meant to be close, but Nebraska also is 5-1, so a massive win against the Gophers also gets them to bowl eligibility. I know they have higher expectations than that with Matt Rule now, but a win tonight for the Huskers would get them to bowl eligibility. So I will take Nebraska minus the 6.5 against the Gophers. Turner, what do we got?
I'm just gonna keep with a fun trend I've been doing lately. Is I'm gonna pick against my Texas Longhorns because for some reason they do better when I do. So I have Kentucky plus 11.5. I don't think Kentucky's gonna win, as I just jinxed my favorite team probably, but I think 11.5 points for Texas right now might be hard for them to win by. Struggling offensively. I agree with you. Give me the Nebraska Cornhuskers against Minnesota. I'll probably be wearing my Gopher hoodie and my Gopher hat tonight, but go Cornhuskers. I have Utah State minus 4.5 also tonight versus San Jose State. That one, I don't know why. It's just every time I've picked Utah State to cover, they've done it. So I'm a big Utah State Aggies guy. My other two, I agree with you on Georgia Tech. And also give me Northwestern minus 3.5 versus Purdue. I like what they're doing right now over there in Illinois. I think they're going to keep it rolling. I don't think Purdue's going to win that one. And 3.5, pretty low spread. So I think Northwestern is going to pull it off.
I also think some of these coaches who have been in the mix for the Penn State job, like a Matt Rule, I'm curious to see how their players respond if it's been a distraction in their facility or not. I know Matt Rule was on the McAfee show talking about it, and he just kind of was entertaining it and making it a sense of humor type thing. So I don't think it will distract the Huskers. But I think Matt Rule absolutely loves Lincoln, Nebraska. I know money can talk, but we'll see what the Huskers look like there. So my super dog, I'm going to take SMU plus 9.5 going into Clemson. We still really don't know what Clemson's supposed to look like or what they want to look like. They've absolutely obliterated the last two teams they played. I think they had UNC and Boston College, which are definitely not SMU. So I'm going to take SMU plus the 9.5 against Clemson. Turner.
Well, my super dog already won this week. So for the sake of this, I'm saying UNLV versus Boise State. I don't think Boise State should be a 2-touchdown favorite. I know that their 2 losses have been at the hands of some pretty good football teams. But UNLV, it just feels like they have a chance to make a run at the college football playoff. And I think they're going to shock some people as they're finally able to get over that Boise State blockade, so to speak. They're going to get past the blue turf and pull it off tonight or
All right,
tomorrow.
over or unders. I think anybody who knows me as a sports bettor knows I stay away from a lot of totals. I like to do team totals, and I actually took a team total in this game too. I'm going to take Ohio State, Wisconsin over 40.5. I don't think Wisconsin's going to score, but I think Ohio State can do this 40.5 by themselves. I actually have Wisconsin team total under 6.5. They're an absolute mess right now, and Ohio State's defense is just ridiculous. So I will take Ohio State to potentially even cover this all by themselves, the 40.5.
I'm going to go back to old reliable when it comes to over-unders. I know that my favorite coordinator of all time, Brian Ferentz, is no longer there, but my other favorite coordinator, Andy Kotelnicki, will be leading those Penn State Nittany Lions versus Iowa. Give me the under 40.5. I think that's two bad football teams that are reeling right now. I don't think they can score points. It's all reliable when it comes to me for gambling. Give me the under for Iowa Penn State.
I absolutely would tail on that. Do have that one written down. And like I said, I'm not a huge over under guy because you have to rely on both teams to hit a number, but I do like both of those. My best bet this week, I'm going to take Texas Tech to keep on rolling. Arizona State had some troubles against some more Big 12 teams in the past couple weeks, and Texas Tech has looked better every week. I'll take the Red Raiders minus 8.5 against the Sun Devils. Turner.
I'm going to go to the American Conference for my best bet. Seeing North Texas only 3.5-point favorites currently, I would go Mean Green all day long. I know that they absolutely fell apart and collapsed last week. Either they're going to rebound and absolutely destroy UTSA, or they're going to get 2 losses out of that one game last week. But I'm really hoping that the Mean Green can pull it off. That'd be my best bet, 3.5.
All right, some extras this week. I have Utah minus 3.5 against BYU. This game's kind of grown on me. I just think Utah will be too much in the Holy War. As Turner just mentioned, the Iowa game, I'm going to take Iowa minus 2.5 against Penn State. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points. I think it's going to be a rock fight and whatever Penn State has left in the tank. But Iowa finds a way to cover the 2.5. Going back to another one of Turner's, UNLV. I almost put this down as my super dog, but I still like SMU in that spot. UNLV plus 12.5. We'll see if they can cover or win that outright at Boise. And give me the UConn Huskies money line against an absolutely terrible Boston College. Maybe they're taking into account BC's ACC schedule versus UConn's independent schedule. But I can definitely see UConn going in to beat outright Boston College this week. Turner, any bonus bets?
You have Kent State, the Golden Flashes, taking on the Toledo Rockets. Toledo a week ago were up 21-0 on Bowling Green, and they blew it. Kent State has already gotten more wins than all of last year. Give me Kent State to cover, plus 24.5. I think Tucker Gleason reeling a bit as that Toledo QB. And my other one, at some point they've got to lose, right? Texas A&M, I know at some point they're going to blow it. Give me the Arkansas Razorbacks plus 7.5. I know they're 2-4, but the Aggie curse has got to come at some point, right?
Speaking of Kent State, I think we missed it a week or two ago, but I had Kent State plus 45.5 against the Sooners, and they lost 45-0. So we'll take a win any way we can get it. Love to see it, Golden Flashes. Good teams win, great teams cover. So my last one's just intrigue picks. I've actually kind of grown on one side of this. I don't think I'll take it. There's a terrible matchup for one side, but I could see it going either way. Some intrigues. I have LSU minus 2.5 against Vandy. This is kind of an icky matchup for Diego going against a pretty solid defense. Obviously, LSU's defense keeps them in every game because their offense doesn't look like it's supposed to yet. And Washington plus 6.5 against Michigan. Washington, we're still not so sure about where they sit in the Big Ten. Same with Michigan. I would definitely say this is a must-win for Michigan, more so Washington. Even though a win either way would go huge for either of these teams in the Big Ten. But kind of gonna stay away from that one. I would lean Vandy, but the matchup, if you really dig deep into some stats, does not necessarily favor Vanderbilt unless you think Diego is going to put the cape on again, which is also certainly possible. So, any intrigue or stay aways for you, Turner?
My stayaways, I'm going to go with Georgia Ole Miss. I mean, tempting to lean Georgia, but at the same time, it's one of those where it's either going to be Georgia's going to win by 20. They're just magically figure out as Kirby Smart does, or the lane train's going to keep rolling. And the other one that I would stay away from, Penn State, Iowa, right? I'll go over under on that one all day, but in terms of actually picking the winner of that one, I have no idea. Penn State looks terrible. Iowa doesn't look much better. I truly could not tell you which way it's going to go. Like, could they figure it out now that they finally have the worst quarterback in college football out of there? Or is it going to be just more Penn State falling apart? So I'd stay away from that one. And I'd probably stay away from Indiana, 27.5 versus Michigan State. That's a huge spread. I don't like that spread. But at the same time, they are capable of putting up points, and Michigan State is not great. But you never know. And that is a huge spread that I would just not be willing to bet on.
Huge spread after a massive win, after a massive contract. Signetti just got a lot going on there to cover a lot of points. So, all right, football fans, enjoy another week eight of college football. A massive week in the SEC with, I believe, 3 ranked versus ranked matchups. We'll see how those go. So we'll see you next week.